Subject-verb agreement. It means the subject has to agree with the verb. Should we use was or were? Should we use is or are? This is going to be the lesson today. In this lesson, you will be able to identify the subject and the verb in a given sentence. Students will be able to identify and characterize the agreement between subject and the verb. Students will be able to use correct sentences using appropriate subject and verbs in daily real-life situations. The easiest rule: nouns and verbs form plurals in opposite way. It means nouns take an S to the singular form. Verbs remove the S from the singular form. If you have an S in the subject, you don't put an S in the verb. For example, the dogs chase the cat. Because the dogs has an S, the verb, which is chase, does not have an S. And the opposite is true. The dog, it doesn't have an S, so chases, which is the verb, should have an S. Of course you knew that. Now, indefinite pronouns seem plural, but they are always singular. So whenever you have any of these indefinite pronouns, you add S to the verb, you use is, you use was, has, or does. For example, each sees the value of the course. Everybody has gone to the movies. Nothing seems right around. Another is on the way. Now, the first two, either and neither, I'll give a further explanation later in this video about these two, because they have two different rules. Now, if they are alone in the sentence, with like any other indefinite pronoun, the rule is the same, where you have to use a singular verb. For example, either of you is allowed to go out, or neither of the students has shown up today. Now over here, the following indefinite pronouns always take plural verbs. Earlier we said that someone, everyone, anyone take singular verbs. Now these take plural verbs. So whenever we have both a few or few, many, several, or others, the verb has to be in the plural form. Many have answered the invitation. A few are not coming. Several indicate. Okay? So with these, we do not use the singular verbs. We use the plural verbs. Nice. Now, a third group of indefinite pronouns take either a singular or plural depending on the pronoun's meaning, as in the sentence. Some, any, none, all, and most. The word that combines them is sanam. Some of the debt has been paid off. Why? Some refers to debt, therefore some is singular and takes a singular verb. Some of the debts are still outstanding. Here, some refers to debts. It means they are in the plural form. Okay, so you have to distinguish whether they are using the singular form or the plural form. If there is an S, you don't add an S. If there is no S, you add the S. Okay? These create problems. Earlier I told you about either and neither. Now I'm going to explain them. When either and neither appear as the subject alone without the word or and nor, they are singular. It means when I have a sentence with either or neither alone without or nor, because either comes with or and neither comes with nor. So when I have these two words without or and nor, the verb is always in the singular form. So either of those answers seems, I don't look at answers, I look at either, because either is without or. You can have the bed by the window or the one by the door. Either is okay. Now, when either and neither appear with the words or and nor, look at the subject after or and nor. It means when I have with either or with neither nor, I don't directly put the verb in the singular form. I look what comes after or. After or determines whether I use the subject or the singular or the plural. For example, either my parents or my friends How many friends? Many, so I use are. Either my parents or my friend. How many friends? One, so I use is. Okay? This is a bit confusing, but it is nice. So please pay attention to that. Either and neither alone, always singular. Either with or, neither with nor, you look at the second subject or what comes after or. Singular, singular, plural, plural. Okay? Now, prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase sometimes complicates subject verb agreement. A prepositional phrase is composed of a preposition followed by a noun or a pronoun object. Now, as usual, you look at the pronoun or the subject. So the boy at the door is my brother. Whom am I talking about? Am I talking about the boy or the door? Of course, the boy. So the boy is singular. It takes a singular verb, which is. A prepositional phrase may be placed between the subject and the verb. In the above example, the singular verb is agrees with the singular subject boy. Sometimes, however, a prepositional phrase inserted between the subject and verb makes agreement more difficult. The car with many riders was speeding around the curve. What are we talking about? Now, usually you look at the first word before was or were. You say riders, it means were. No, dear. You have to determine the subject of the sentence. What am I talking about? Am I talking about the car or the riders? I'm talking about the car. So again, because the car is singular, I need a singular verb. That's why I use was. The car with many riders were? No, I'm not talking about riders. I'm talking about the car. All right. Now, here and there. The words there and here are never subjects. So you have to look at the subject in the sentence, which comes directly after the verb. So here is what you have to fill in the blanks or circle the correct answer in a quiz or an exam. So you look what comes after. What am I talking about? In the first sentence, I'm talking about the papers. So I say the papers are. In the second one, here is my answer. I'm talking about the answer. So I say my answer is. Okay? Remember, here and there are not the subject. There is or there are. Very easy. If you're talking about one thing, you use is. There is a teacher outside. There is one student missing. There are 2 papers left on the table. There are 3 children in the playground. Okay? So look carefully for the subject to know whether to use is. A number is always are and the number is always is, because a number is plural and the number is singular. So when you have in a sentence the word a number, you always use are or were or do, and when you have the number, you use is or was or has or does. The number of enrollees is increasing. A number of suggestions were. The number of bomb explosion incidents is. A number of bomb explosion victims are traumatized. Okay? So you only look at the number or a number. The number, singular, a number, plural. That's easy. So, the clause beginning with who, that, or which and coming between the subject and the verb can cause agreement problems. Just keep in mind, who, that, and which clause never contains the subject. So, again, you look at the head or at the subject. It means you want to tell me that what the sentence is talking about. Is it talking about a dog or the owner? So once you tell me what the sentence is talking about, you directly know the answer. Okay? Do not take into consideration the clause. Okay? So that loves its owner is the clause. That eat crunchies is the clause. Who arrives late is a clause. I'm not talking about these. Just determine the head. Determine the subject. What is the sentence talking about? Once you know what the sentence is talking about, the answer is known. A dog deserves. Dogs live. Anyone is. The computer menu allows. Okay? Here you may use a sentence to cross out the clause that comes between the subject and the verb. It helps you know the answer. Okay? Now, with uncountable nouns, always use singular verbs. This is a list of uncountable nouns. So whenever you see these words, the answer or the verb is in the singular form. And here, please pay attention to the words homework and information, because most of the time you get confused. Money doesn't buy health. My homework was easy. We never say homeworks. We never say informations. The information isn't enough. Salt makes the salad salty. Your luggage needs packing. Does the soup smell nice? Is mathematics difficult? Has the statistics helped you? So, the underlined words are the subjects and the ones in orange are the verbs. So whenever you have any of these words or uncountable nouns, use a singular verb. Are you alright? I think you are. A collective noun is a word that means one, but it has many people or members or things in it. Here are some examples. For people, we have board, choir, class, committee, family, group. For animals, we have flock or herd. For things, we have bunch, collection, pack, or set. Now, when to use a singular verb and when to use a plural verb. When all the members of a collective noun are performing an action as a unit, it means as one, we use a singular verb. So we refer to this as it. The chamber orchestra often plays at the art center, so it often plays. The cast is celebrating, it is celebrating. When the members of a collective noun are performing an action as individuals, it means as people, use a plural verb. The orchestra are tuning their instruments. It means they are tuning their instruments. This word there helps me identify that the collective noun is as individuals, not as a unit. The cast have been practicing their lines. The staff disagree on the proposal. It means they did not like the proposal or the offer given to them. Okay? Now, understand the rules and you won't get confused. This is again to help you refresh your memory. Singular verbs are like am, is, was, has, or does. Plural verbs are like are, were, have, and do. Till next time, be safe and see you soon.